What's poppin', yo? It looks like Cardi B's really in panic mode right now, and she's trying to get to it as quick as possible when it comes to this new album, which keep in mind, it has been 7 years since she's dropped an album. 7 years, and we're supposed to consider her a rapper, and we're supposed to consider one of the best, or one of the biggest female rappers of all time. She is. But one of the best? Come on now. She's not even on the list. And let me not get started on Remy Ma, but I'm gonna play you guys this clip of Cardi B addressing her fans, talking about why she hasn't dropped her album yet and why it's out of her control. So we're going to run that real quick, and then we're going to dissect this a little by little.
I know y'all been asking me about my album, but right now, when it comes to my album, I don't let y'all know it's not my fault right now. Like, right now, it's not my fault. Right now is really, 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 really not my fault. Well, it kind of is, but it's kind of not, because it's like, I'm going to talk about it when I put the announcement out. But, like, I'm trying to give everything at the same time. This bundle should be annoying. I'm not even gonna lie, this bundle should be annoying. Like, it got so much bullshit, and people just be fucking, I don't know, like, I that's why I don't like depending on other people for certain things. And I'm not talking about artists, I'm talking about, like, with these bundle stuff. But it's coming out great. I really wish I would have done the fucking album announcement last week when shit was hot. But you know what I'm saying? I can't do nothing about it. Don't put this on Twitter neither. Like, it's like, if y'all gonna talk about it, talk about it in the group chat. But yeah.
So off rip, one thing I really like, let's start about what I like, because there's a lot of things I love. Let's not go there. If you know, you know. So with Cardi B, right? I love the fact that it's kind of this, I would say the right word is innocence, naivete, where she thinks like she's having a conversation with her close fans. And this has never changed throughout her career. Like, she's just like, yeah, you guys don't post this on Twitter or anything. This is between us. What do you mean between us? Once you get past like 10 people, somebody's leaking it somewhere, especially because it's on a public platform. So I think she was on her TikTok live. I know it wasn't Instagram live. It didn't look like Instagram live, at least. But this obviously gets out there, and she's talking about how people are handling the bundles. So to give you some background information on that, Cardi B's album is finished, and she starts talking about the album. So the anticipation for the album grows. But Cardi B can't come back after 7 years not having dropped it, and the success of an album that Invasion of Privacy was, and then drop a dud. So they got to cook up everything under the sun. And keep in mind, Cardi B is Atlantic Records. She is Atlantic Records. They're making sure that the money is being made. So in order to do that, they're going to run the same game that I talked about in a previous video where Ye was trying to break down that whole system. I'll link it in the pinned comment. I will remember this time. Maybe. So they need to sell vinyls. They need to sell any and everything under the sun to make sure that her numbers don't look bunk. For example, if Cardi B ends up selling 60K, they're going to clown her. Do I think that's going to happen? No, she might stream 60K worth the first week because Cardi does not have a hit. And she has released ample amounts of singles or been featured on singles, and they didn't really turn into anything. And that's the game with singles, is sometimes you just don't have one coming into an album, and you got to go off the strength of how strong is your fan base. This is why in a separate video when I talk about Playboy Cardi, I'm going to address how y'all that are trying to hate and say music came and went, y'all got to get the hell out of here with that, because that's not true. So for Cardi B, her album needs to be finished first for them to press the vinyls, because they've got to press the vinyls and CDs and maybe cassettes and whatever other items that they're going to sell. They've got to press all of that ahead of time, because for the albums to count for the tracking week, they have to sell and they have to ship on that same week. So they've got to ship them out in a week. So for, let's say she sells 150,000 vinyls or vinyl CDs, etc., physical items. Those already need to be in a warehouse, and they need to be shipped out before the tracking week is over, which is difficult. Billboard has constantly updated these rules to make it harder and harder, but for the biggest artists, they've been able to keep up. So this is out of her hands. She submitted her album. She did her job. And I do think that this is the right time for Cardi B to come back with an album. I just don't know if they added any new music to it. I think new music was necessary. We need her addressing Offset in this. We need her addressing her new man. We need her talking about this new phase of her life. We need, and by we, I mean general public, like this is really what's going to send Cardi B into another arc, because there's a storyline to all of this. For instance, Jay-Z, when Jay-Z was gone and he came back with 444, there was a storyline. There was Lemonade, there was cheating allegations or rumors. We really, nah, he did cheat. Let's keep it a buck. But keep in mind, Jay-Z is another level. When you talk about Jay-Z and Diddy, because we still don't even know who that lady that Jay-Z allegedly cheated with Beyonce was. We haven't even gotten a hint. Nobody has ever said, oh, we know who that woman is. No fake photo has spread. That's how you know when somebody's got it locked down. But 444 was this new chapter, a new story, and so many things that we hadn't heard from Jay. A lot of business, title, all of these other things, and those were encapsulated in 444. There is enough material for Jay to come back for another storyline, but with Cardi B, she's had so much. She kind of skipped the whole family arc, but I don't think a lot of her fans were really interested in that, and I think she's done a good, healthy balance of being a mother and a wife, if you want to call it that. Well, she was a wife for a long period of time, and also appealing to many of the girls and women that follow her that are single and want her turned up personality, because hell, she was on live on social media arguing and ranting about her husband, and then when people told her like, yo, keep that offline, she said, no, this is like, my fans are my diary or whatever, so I'm going to tell them whatever's going on in my relationship, which God bless you if you're in a situation like that. But hey, Offset knew what he was getting into. So with Cardi B, a lot has happened since she probably submitted the album. She's been talking about the album since the end of last year. We know they needed an army of writers and producers to get with Cardi, because for somebody that admittedly said that she doesn't write a lot of her music, and to take a break for that many years, dog. We saw what happened with Wabi and Namir when he took like a 2-year break for making music, and he wrote his own stuff. It was almost as if the guy had caught amnesia. He had just gotten into a head trauma accident, woke up from a 6-month coma, and you just handed him a mic, and you're like, oh, what the hell is this guy doing on this thing? And then slowly he was able to pick back up, and he just adopted a new style entirely. But for Cardi B, the sound has changed so much since he first came into the game. There are so many other women in the game. Sexy Red is one of the most poppin' acts, but we're not going to talk about how Sexy Red's song with Bruno Mars, I wouldn't say is a dud, but they definitely thought that was going to do a lot more than it's currently doing. And what it's currently doing is falling off the charts. It's not even in the it's not even in the Hot 100 right now. I just didn't think that pairing made sense whatsoever. And Bruno Mars is on another level. The guy's got, 2 smash hits right now? He's got the Opt song, or APT song with Rose, and then he's got the Die With A Smile with Lady Gaga. Funny enough, the APT song is way bigger of a song globally, but domestically in the US, Canada, maybe the UK, I'm not too sure. Someone in the comments would have to let me know. The Die With A Smile song is way bigger. But for Bruno Mars not to work with Sexy Red in that manner, it just goes to show you that star power isn't enough. Sexy Red's not even in the Hot 100 right now, but she's an artist that's been on there herself. She's popping, she's lit. Are we going to get something between Sexy Red and Cardi B? Why haven't they linked up? We know that Cardi B has shown love to Sexy Red, as she's done to every upcoming female artist that hasn't shaded her or thrown shots at her or done anything behind the scenes. She had a beef with Bia. She has to address these cheating rumors. She has to address some bars coming at Bia in this album. There's a lot that Cardi B can address, and hopefully she's ready to hit the ground running and isn't just enamored and all over her new man, Stephon Diggs, that we don't even really know what their situation is. A lot of people are saying they're quote-unquote dating, but what is the definition of that? What does that really mean? Is it just him and her? Is she letting him rock out with all these other chicks, and she knows and she doesn't care, and she's just in a post-divorce exploratory phase? We don't really know, and those are things that should be addressed in Cardi B's album. And I don't want this to just be another attempt at not recreating Invasion of Privacy, because times have changed, but I don't want this to be some slop fest of regular female rap songs that they would hand out to other artists in the game right now. Like for whoever's writing or giving out reference tracks to, let's say, Glorilla. I'm not accusing Glorilla of having writers, but let's just say Glorilla, Lotto, all these other people. I don't want that same person just handing out a reference track that didn't go to those rappers to Cardi B. It needs to be specifically tailored for her situation and to tell her story, because there's so much of a story to tell. And Cardi B coming into the game, part of the reason why she got on wasn't because she was the greatest rapper. It was because people liked her personality that came with the story that she had to tell. And that story is still developing and quite entertaining, regardless of whether you're a fan of her decisions or not. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Do you think Cardi B's nervous? She really looked nervous in the video, especially when she's like scratching like her arm. People usually do that when they're nervous. Hey, she could just be cold. Who knows? But, you know, her original video, what did she say? Never gets cold. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see you on the next one.